Hello everybody, Mr. Tom here and welcome back to reading. This week we're going to be finishing the last two chapters of Billy Saves the Day. We have chapters 7 and 8. These are shorter chapters, so this will likely be a shorter video, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. And the comment section will be open below for you to give your own thoughts, so let's get right into it. So chapter 7 is called Billy Saves the Day, the name of the book. Miss Johnston, the head teacher of Groove Road Primary School, stood on a stage to talk to the whole school during morning assembly. "It is with great regret that I have to announce," Miss Johnston looked over at Miss Tompkins, who tilted her head in confirmation, "that the Year 5 production of the Keymaster play, due to take place on Thursday afternoon," and before she could finish, Billy guessed what she was about to say, and jumped to his feet and ran towards the stage. "Will take place." His shout came out louder than intended, but he managed to stop the announcement. In a single leap, Billy bounded up the stairs and onto the stage and arrived alongside a rather curious head teacher. "What do you mean?" Miss Tompkins told me that the play had to get canceled because Anthony Turner has broken his arm. "He has, Miss Johnston, and his face got all mashed up." "But we have a new Keymaster," Billy beamed out at the rows of children. Miss Johnston creased her brow, while raising one eyebrow. She looked, first at Billy and then at Miss Tompkins, who just shrugged, then back to Billy. "Who is this person?" Miss Johnston bent and gazed into Billy's face. "Explain yourself." Every pupil and staff member leant in and stared at Billy. Suddenly he felt deeply self-conscious, and his legs wobbled. "I didn't have time to tell Miss Tompkins." "Well, tell us all now." Miss Johnston swept her arm out in the direction of the waiting faces. Billy sensed the anticipation. He had a bout of nerves, something that means a lot. "It's me," he said so quietly that no one heard. "Come on, Spider-Man, you can do it," he thought to himself. "Pardon?" Miss Johnston spoke with several calls from his classmates rang out. "Oi, Field, speak up, we can't hear anything." Billy took a deep breath. "It's me." He spoke with great projection, and his voice filled the entire hall. "You?" Miss Tompkins couldn't hide her relief or surprise. "Well, Billy, that's fantastic." Miss Tompkins focused her gaze on the back of the hall, where her Year 5 class sat celebrating. She raised two thumbs. "Full dress rehearsal today," she called to them as she walked over to where Billy stood. "So, why have you decided to play the part?" "Because my granddad said that if I don't try, you won't know. And anyway, because I've been at all the rehearsals. I know the words and songs for the Keymaster and everything." Billy jumped off the stage and raced to join his classmates. Tom and Cal had gathered around. "Will you really do it?" "Me? The superhero." Billy sped down the corridor, bent forward with his right arm stretched out in front and his left trailing behind, pretending he could move like Spider-Man. "Just watch me," he called back over his shoulder. Billy's mom, Patty, walked into Granddad's house. Jacko pulled on his lead. Going to Granddad's meant sneak treats. "Jacko, no." She held his lead tight. "Are you ready?" Patty called out. Granddad appeared in the kitchen, dressed in a gray flat cap, long dark gray overcoat, and black leather gloves. Around his neck, he wore his paisley-patterned scarf that Billy had given him for his birthday. To complete his outfit, he had on his back highly polished leather shoes. He had on his black, highly polished leather shoes, which reminded him of when he used to be in the army. "Come on, we need to collect Aunt and his mom. I promised them a lift to school." Billy's mom tapped at her watch. "It starts in half an hour." Granddad, Patty, and Jacko set off for Aunt's house. "Don't be surprised when you see Aunt. He's had a nasty fall, which has left him quite bruised," Granddad warned before he clattered the front door knocker. Aunt's mom opened the door. "It's so kind of you, Patty. I didn't fancy getting a taxi to school, not with Aunt looking like he does. He's nearly ready. Come in for a minute. It's difficult getting him dressed with his plaster cast and all the swelling. It hurts if you touch him, too." She disappeared upstairs. All three waited in the hallway, listening to his stream of cries. "Ouch! No! Mom! Hey! Careful!" as Aunt's dressing progressed. Eventually, he and his mom appeared at the top of the stairs. Aunt looked more like a snowman, similar in shape, but not the white. Instead, he appeared various shades of dark blue and black, both his outfit and any skin visible. His head remained swollen, and the only hat that nearly fitted him was his dad's fishing hat, and even so, its brim rested just above his nose. He also had several jumpers covering the miles of bandages he had wrapped around his chest to support his cracked ribs. Over the jumps, he wore a dark blue puffer jacket with an inner lining, both zipped to the top, which made their collars stand up, completely covering his chin and touching the underside of his nose. His bottom half looked quite normal, just a pair of blue jeans, until his legs came into view. Because his feet had gotten cut and bruised, he couldn't wear shoes. Instead, he wore slippers, deep red, oversized, and thickly padded Angry Birds with yellow beaks that wobbled as he walked. When he descended the stairs, his eyes became visible, still puffy, but now turning yellow. He looked like a chameleon. Not wanting to get laughed at by his school friends, he had borrowed his mom's designer sunglasses that she bought off the internet. He slipped them on. "Okay, all ready." Aunt's mom sounded jolly and surprisingly unaware of Aunt's concern. "Great. Well, we better get going." Patty looked Aunt up and down, but managed to hide her surprise. Granddad noticed, but as he had no idea about fashion, he just thought Aunt was trendy. Jacko only had an interest in protecting everyone from the Angry Bird slippers and barked every time Aunt took a step. And that is the end of Chapter 7. So now we are on to the last chapter, Chapter 8. Superpowers Rule. The stage curtains remained closed. From behind them, the assembled cast of children could hear their audience arriving and settling. The general level of excitement felt infectious, and everyone chatted about how Year 5's performance would go, following the swap out of the main character only 2 days earlier. Billy, too, wondered the exact same thing. He had rehearsed his lines in his head so much that he felt confused. "Come on." Billy noticed that the wall clock pointed to 1:55, still 5 minutes to starting. The waiting seemed the worst part. No one heard his comments, lost in the roar of laughter, cheers, and catcalls coming from the audience. On stage, nobody knew what had caused the outburst, but Aunt did. Miss Tompkins had saved 4 seats in the front row for Aunt, his mom, and Billy's mom and Granddad. Jacko would have to sit on the floor as they walked the length of the hall. Everyone got a good look at them, and in particular, Aunt. Still dressed in the same as when he'd left home, he didn't receive sympathy or care, but instead finger-pointing, peals of laughter, and name-calling. His oversized hat, sunglasses, and zipped-up clothing hid his embarrassment. Miss Tompkins walked onto the stage in front of the closed curtains. "Good afternoon." The noise in the wall remained the same. "Children and parents," she tried again. "Welcome to our Year 5 end-of-term play." She slid her glasses down her nose. A chorus of "shush" went up as children noticed Miss Tompkins had become well known for staring over her glasses. "Thank you," Miss Tompkins said. "Today we have a remarkable play for your enjoyment." Remarkable because on Monday, I was about to cancel the performance following an unfortunate accident involving Anthony Turner, who was to play the main character. However, the good news is that Anthony will make a full recovery and has joined us here today. Miss pointed at Aunt. More cheers and catcalls followed. Quiet now. Quiet now. And Billy Field volunteered to take on the part with only 2 days' notice. Miss led the clapping. As she did, she backed off the stage, and the lights in the hall dimmed and the stage curtains slid back. "Good morning, class." Billy delivered the opening line. His voice filled the hall, but in his stomach 1,000 butterflies took flight. "Think Superman," he told himself. In response, the other children delivered the next line. "Morning, sir." "I'm your supply teacher for today," Billy continued in character, and he even remembered to rub his hands together as the script stated. "Right. Battle of Hastings." Having spoken his line, Billy stood silent and waited. The rest of the cast waited. Everyone in the hall waited. Soon mutterings could be heard from the chorus. "Where's the music? We need the music. Who's turning on the music?" At the side of the stage, Miss Tompkins stood flapping her arms like sails in a gale-force wind. "She wants you, Billy," someone said in a whisper loud enough for the whole audience to hear. "Not now, I'm acting." Beads of sweat broke out on Billy's forehead. Miss Tompkins still waved frantically. During all the rehearsals, he had taken responsibility for the music and lights, and no one else knew what to do. "Okay, Spider-Man, it's down to you," Billy thought to himself. He bent forward and, leading with his right arm, leapt off the stage, ran to the back of the hall and up the stairs and into the sound and lighting control room. There he pressed the on button for the CD player and then raced back to take up his position on stage. The music burst through the speakers just as Billy made it back in time to sing his lines. Nobody heard him sing as the applause drowned out his effects. The rest of the play continued without major incident. Khaled took over responsibility for sound and lights, and apart from a few miscues, which no one noticed that much, he did all right. With the final curtain, Miss Tompkins came on stage. "Well done, Year 5. Everyone did so well. But I have to congratulate Billy Field for stepping in at such short notice. I know Anthony would have made a splendid keymaster, as I saw from the rehearsals, but Billy really did save the day." Miss gestured to Billy to join her. "Let's hear it for Billy Field." The whole audience stood. Everyone clapped their hardest, and those that could whistled or called out "Bravo" or "Well done." The noise in the hall reached a new height. Billy stood fixed to the point with all the admiration he received. Patty, Billy's mom, dropped Jocko's lead while she clapped. The dog took the opportunity to dash onto the stage and sit next to his master. Seated on his haunches, Jocko held his head high as if to say, "I'm proud of you too." Later, back at Aunt's house, his mom produced tea and cake for everyone. Billy felt as if he were flying. All the excitement of the performance and the cheers and good wishes gave him a real buzz. He liked the feeling, and he felt so pleased that he had done it. "You know, Aunt, it was a good thing you smashed into a tree. It meant I had to do something that I didn't want to do. My granddad's right. If you don't try, you'll never know." Aunt had just taken a bite of cake. "What?" A spray of sponge cake covered the table. "Look at me. I'm like a Webble, and it hurts loads, and I missed my big chance to act in front of the whole school." Aunt couldn't speak more for coughing. "Yeah, and I'm sorry that something bad had to happen to you for me to realize that I could do something I didn't think I could. Now I feel proud of myself, and I'm sorry that you missed your chance to act, but you already knew you were a good actor. If I hadn't given it a go, I would never have dared to do it." Aunt's eyes watered from the coughing. Billy said, "You're a real friend, Aunt, and as soon as you feel better, I'll do something special for you to show how much I like being your best friend." Gently, Billy slapped Aunt's back. The remainder of the cake had gone down the wrong way. "Come on, mate, cough it up." The end. And that is the end of Billy Saves the Day. We read 8 chapters over the course of about a month. And my thoughts on it, I don't really know what to say. That was a good ending, and it's a good message that sometimes that when you think you can't do something, you really can do it. Just give it a shot. Nothing bad will happen as long as you try your best. And if you try your best, you'll get something out of it. You could always do something you put your mind to. And that's what Billy did here. He was forced to, but he learned that he could do the thing that he was scared of. And you can too. So, I liked this book. This was good, as the last Billy book was. I actually like this series. It's a nice short chapter book that teaches you things, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So for now, that's the end of Billy Saves the Day. And the next book we'll read, I believe, will probably be another Billy book, because I believe I have one more. So until then, I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time for the next book. Goodbye.